Numbers 3 through 8. Solve each equation and show all work. In number 3, if I draw on the separator through the equal sign to see these as two separate sides, my first step is to group like terms on the same side of the equal sign. I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Notice that when I moved the 3x, I used the opposite sign. I'm then going to combine only my x terms. 13x plus 7 is equal to negative 19. Looking at my separator, what does not belong on the left that I need to move is the plus 7. I'm going to use opposites, move it to the other side. 13x is equal to negative 26. I then divide both sides by 13 and get my solution. X is equal to negative 2. When I look at number 4, what makes this different when I draw on my separator is that I need to get rid of parentheses. To do this, I want to distribute the negative 5, which involves multiplication twice. Negative 5 times x gives you negative 5x. Add to that negative times a negative, which is positive 20, equals 3x minus 44. Many of these problems after the first or second step end up looking like x number is equal to an x term with a number. I'm going to move the 3x to the other side by using the opposite, minus 3x. I am then going to subtract the 20 from both sides to isolate the variable term. My last step is to divide both sides by negative 8. When I put this in my calculator, I then can determine that my answer is positive 8. Number 5 puts together a lot of different skills. Take a deep breath when you see them. Draw on the wall. Step number 1 is to get rid of all parentheses by multiplying through distributive property. Negative 9 times x, negative 9 times 2 equals, negative 3x is by itself. Now be careful, in my last multiplication, this is a negative 6 that I'm distributing. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. I then can combine like terms on the same side. Negative 9x. Now, how can I use the calculator to generate this? Negative 3, the coefficient, subtract 6 gives me negative 9. Bring down the negative 12, the number by itself. Bring down everyone else. Notice we got to this same format. Number person, x term, number person. Also, you may start to see that these look very similar. If we add the 9x to both sides, this goes to 0, so does this, which leaves me with this mathematical statement. Does negative 18 equal negative 12 after all of the variables cancel? No. This is a false statement, which means my answer is no solution. There are no values of x that will make this true. The last type that we have on this side of the worksheet involves cross multiplying. The first cross that I have is to take the 8 and multiply it by the quantity x plus 2. It isn't just 8 times x, it's 8, minus 2. 8 times this numerator. I then can do the other cross, 4 times x plus 5. You have to know that this is the setup based on the fact this is a proportion, a fraction equal to a fraction. I then multiply here and here. 8x minus 16 is equal to 4x plus 20. Multiplying here and here. Same setup. Variable number equals variable number. If I draw in my divider, I then can subtract the 4x from both sides, moving and grouping the variable terms. Notice I'm using opposites. Combine like terms. Move the 16 to the other side. Divide both sides, and I get x is equal to 9. As I turn the page, number 7 could be viewed as a proportion. However, since I only have one fraction, I need to get rid of the division by 5. I will multiply the left by 5 and the right by 5. These will cancel, leaves me with negative 3x minus 6 is equal to 45. Draw on the wall. This is much simpler than some of the problems on the other side. I now need to move my number person by adding 6 using opposites. Then divide both sides by negative 3. (51) divided by negative 3 gives me negative 17, which is what my solution is. Last problem, draw on the wall. Combine like terms on both sides. So if I focus on the left, my like terms are 8 and negative 4. On the right, my like terms involve 2x and 4x. Some of you might right away recognize, wait a second, what I have on the left is the same as the right. If you don't, follow the same steps. Let's move the x person. Suddenly I have 4 is equal to 4. Well, that mathematical statement is true. So my answer is all reals for my solution.